How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and welcome back to my Joan of Arcadia run through, or I guess technically it's the Civilized Run. Through Knights of the Republic 2, the Sith Lords. So, last time, unfortunately, it looks like, despite my best efforts, I had a mistake slip through. Normally, I like to think that as I've posted content on YouTube, it's been a while, but everything I've done is self-taught, and one of the things I pride myself in is that I've always striven, good grief, here I come. I always strive for improving, and one of the things I improve is my audio quality and audio like mixing, something I didn't know a thing about when I started, and I've slowly learned and developed. Now, for some reason, last time when I published a video, I realized that one of my audio things must have deselected or desynced or something, but when push came to shove, there was a lot of background noise in the audio, the raw audio, that just, like, I didn't catch it at first, and by the time I did notice it, it was pretty too late, and it wasn't the most problematic, but hopefully this video will be a lot better. Other than that, yep, here we are. We're Joan of Arclight, and we're here to get ourselves off Peragus. We're in the dormitories. I think we're going to be finishing Peragus today, and I'd like to get started on the next phase, but we're gonna see how long that takes me. I always underestimate how long this intro is. But yep, a few amendments I also wanted to make. So I'm doing a pure Jedi run. So like I can only use Jedi like stuff. That is going to include like weapons and armor. So I currently have the miner's uniform and I have the plasma torch. Those are the only exceptions. The plasma torch, because you literally have to have it equipped, but it's the only weapon I have. Like, I have much better weapons. I have a vibro cutter, for instance. Like, that's so much better than like the plasma torch does 1 to 6. My vibro cutter, like, what would that do? It would do 1 to 10, and it's a balanced weapon, so it gets even better. And I could also have guns if I wanted. Look at that, like, heavy mining laser, 2 to 16. I could be doing twice as much damage, or 3 times as much damage in some instances. But no. We're not doing that because, like, beyond like the initial like gotta survive and not be naked, we're only using Jedi stuff. So until I get a lightsaber, this is the only weapon I'm going to equip. So the challenge is really actually mostly early game. I've got to figure out how to survive early game with a miniature lightsaber, aka plasma torch, until I actually get a real one. And until I find Jedi robes or something robe equivalent, like it might not have to be specifically a Jedi robe, but like something that's very much designed to be robe material and to be something you fight in, but as somebody who doesn't wear armor, this is what I have. So survival is going to become harder and harder as we go. I should be able to offset that with some really fun force powers and some allies when I'm not solo anymore. That'll help a lot. But that's the challenge. So it's going to be really hard, and I'm probably going to start dying here pretty soon. But as we go, it'll get easier and easier to the point where I become essentially a god. So anyway, enough about that. Let's jump right in and exploring the dormitories. All we know is that the miners are here. That's the last place they went before the lockdown. Oh, that's Blight Airlock. Nope, not there. That's space. So yeah, here we go. Oh, hello. Oh, gotcha. Need it. Alright, so here's the data pad. Now the fire suppression systems have gone active. Can't even make it out of the dormitory section. I watched the turrets turn their carbonite freeze rays on Manba before he even got halfway across the room. Fortunately, their range doesn't seem to go beyond the room itself, so I was able to maintain... Quiet down, music. So I was able to remain safe in the corridor, but I didn't have any ranged weapons to take them out from. Ooh. Oh no, I forgot about these guys. Ooh. So I was unable to remain safe in the corridor, but I didn't have any ranged weapons to take them out from a distance. So I don't have a stealth field generator to sneak across the room either. I tried unlocking the storage room door to see if there's any cold-resistant items or grenades I could use, but the door was sealed from the lockdown. I don't know enough about security system to open it. I didn't have a sonic charge to blow the door open. Still, as long as the droids don't make it to this section, I should be all right. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. So I gotta try and get through this door, and then there's fire suppression systems in there that's going to make my life just difficult. And they're bad. They do a lot of damage, and I don't have my normal cheats, so it's gonna be dicey. See, if I just stayed out here, it'd be perfectly fine. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's bad. It's like they're not doing damage to me, but I get stuck. Oh, come on. Now they're doing damage to me. Alright, so that energy resistant power seems to be really doing the trick here. It's actually preventing the damage. Now, it's not stopping the stun, but it's preventing the damage. That's the most important thing. And the stun, it looks like if I get some decent rolls, I can resist it. So that's good. Okay. All right. You know what? That went all right. That was not as terrible as I was expecting it to be. I would check what statuses I've got on me. Can I tell? Because like I have a buff right now, but what buff is it? It doesn't really let me see it very well. Okay. Well, I don't think it's my shield. I think it's my energy resistance. Let's see how I handle. Just, oh, fetch me. Okay, hi. Because these are fire suppressant too, so they're gonna be freezing me as well. I hate how like when they freeze me, even if it doesn't freeze me, it actually like it takes away my stack, so I have to reapply an attack or something. Come on, someone hit somebody. Thank you. Ugh, that was annoying. It wasn't even hard, it was just annoying. That's like the only way to describe that fight. Pure, unadulterated anger. If I remember correctly, there is a reason I came here. Interesting parts. But if I remember correctly, there's a certain box down the— whoa, look at this thing. He's got a lot— he's a Gideon beacon. A Gaidon beacon. That's a— if I remember, that's a double-ended sword. That's awesome. Too bad I can't use it. Got another lecture about contraband today. Security hasn't started doing spot checks of our quarters yet, so my cache in the lower bunk in my room in the eastern dormitory should be safe. You won't even know it's there unless you know to look for it. Corda came around again, asked if we had any special cargo to sell, but I was getting a bad feeling that how he was asking. So I stayed quiet about my stash. I'm gonna keep that blaster I smuggled from Telos and a few grenades there just in case things here get rough. Remember, that's the stuff that could make this entire station explode. Only benefit to having a room the farthest from the door is that it should buy me enough time to dump the contraband if security does a surprise inspection. Okay, so now we know to look for there, for his stuff. Storage container. Ah, there it is. Breathe mask. This thing's great. I'll show you. I swear they're never gonna get around to fixing the ventilation system, and the food processor's backed up again. The next time the fumes start flooding the mess hall, I'll be dead rather than just nauseous. I'll keep the breath mask here just in case we have a repeat incident. So yeah, that honestly is the best thing. The reason why you come here first and don't even try to go into the dorms yet is because you want to get that. Because when I get here, it's something you put on your head. If you look, it makes you immune to poison. It looks horrid and it sucks to wear in like conversations because like whenever it does the like zooms in on your head for picking your speech bubble, it looks terrible. But immunity to poison is so good because there are actually times where you'll just randomly be surrounded with like poison traps. So you just slap the mask on and run through them. And like if you trigger all the traps first, you don't get poisoned. And your allies don't get poisoned if they're not close enough to you. So it's a win-win for everybody. And I'm gonna put that on now because it will become very important later. Oh yeah, and then like, look at this thing. The Gaiden beacon. Look at that, the stun baton. That's so cool. Wish I could use it. I'm sure I could wield it pretty well. Actually, it's not that strong. What does it do? So it's a, oh, so it's like the most basic double-edged weapon you can have. It looks like, I guess it's, so Guidon beacon, is it supposed to be a guide beacon? Because that would actually make sense, because it says they're beacons for staking claims on asteroids. But nope, we're not using that. But it's still kind of cool. I don't know if I've run across that too, like very consistently. That's a pretty, like a lot of the drops you get are like rolls. They're never the same no matter how often you replay the game. All right, let's see, what I got more, parts or spikes? I don't even have any spikes, so parts it is. All right, so successfully reroute the system bypassing main console function. Check the duty shift logs. There appear to be nothing more than long lists of work assignments, whilst the number of miners available for duty decreasing over the past 3 days, citing several medical bay logs. All right, remote camera control, so mess hall. That's where we were, dormitory west. That's why we need the mask. Because normally it would cost you spikes I don't even have to shut it down, but you don't need to. If you go and get the mask first, you literally never need to do that. And you go to east, same thing. Turbo lift to the administration level, corpses. Okay. Access the dorm comm system. So comm systems crackle to life. All you can hear is a slow hissing, otherwise the dormitories appear to be deadly silent. And the dormitory emergency lockdown. Now there's gonna be bad guys in there, but not quite this second. So we're gonna go kill those guys, and then I'll be ready to do a proper investigation. All right, here we go. Poisoned rooms. Administration officer's corpse. Credits and administrator officer log. This hollow looks like it needs to be plugged into a hollow reader in order to play back the contents. So we'll do that after we thoroughly explore, because I think we can get everything we need through here. Maybe there's another hidden cache we can find, but I think there's only the one that we've already read about, so we should be able to find now. Energy shield, okay. You the tables you can get here, especially for some of the locked containers, can be pretty good. You can get some pretty nice gear, so it's worth checking each and everything out thoroughly. Right. I can't get into this door, unfortunately. Too bad. It's funny because after this, you can almost always guarantee you can have somebody who has at least one demolition, and you can open most stuff, and that almost never comes up again. It's it's a feature that's mostly used here in the tutorial when you have the least access to companions. So you almost have to build your character around being able to do certain tasks, and if you're playing a force-based character, you get so few skills it's practically not you just kind of have to run past everything. Deck officer's corpse. And he's got a hollow log as well. That's why I kind of did the both. We're gonna smash out all the hollow logs at once. Oh, refresher. Mine foreman log. Hollow log looks like it needs to be plugged into a hollow recording. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so the stash I heard about I'm guessing now is it's probably in one of those locked rooms. So that's unfortunate, but we don't really need a blaster. I wasn't be able to use one anyway. Sonic rifle, another interesting toy I can't use. Yeah, log terminal. All right, search for logged hollow displays. Nothing there. All right, so first we'll do the administrators. Emergency status.
This may be the beginning of a long record. It's about an hour after the facility suffered the explosion that triggered the emergency lockdown. Just finished helping the dock officer set up the transmission relay. Not much signal strength, but it's better than nothing. The transmission gives the code to open the turbo lift when or if help arrives. Code is a simple group of 5 numbers. 3, 17, 13, then the next 2 numbers are...
Sir, couldn't we contact the medbay? Maybe the Jedi's awake. If so, she could help us.
No good. The link to the medical computer was severed from the hub, just like the administration console. Even if the Jedi wakes up, how would we get the dormitory turbo lift code to her? Without it, the turbo lift to the administration level is locked down.
All right, so we need the code to reactivate the turbo lift. And they were locked in here trying to send out signals.
We just took an inventory of our supplies. We've got enough emergency rations in the dormitories to last almost a month. But with all the problems in the facility, I don't know how long we'll last. I wish we could contact the Jedi. Maybe she could... No. She's still floating in that damn tank. Someone's played us for fools. And since KOTOR and his crew aren't locked in here with us, it's pretty clear who it was. If I ever catch up with that Mandalorian-loving son of a... At least the air scrubbers are still working, even though they're tied into the... Hey, what's happening to the ventilation system? This...
Oh, how sad would that be? After all you went through, and you just all die. God, so eerie how they made it so that all the hollow corpses fall where the actual corpses are. It's so true to form, but it's just ugh. Okay, so foreman hollow log. Much trouble. It's been 2 days since the broken Jedi came to the facility. Work efficiency's down. The fuel is backed up to the vents, waiting for processing. The frequency increases. KOTOR and his crew think we should take the Jedi and split them any credits by selling the Jedi to exchange. Tried to convince me to join them. I want nothing to do with the exchange. They're like a big violent family that do terrible things to outsiders who deal with them, but KOTOR does not care. In my mind, it's better letting the Jedi go wherever the Jedi wants to go. When Jedi get mad, they start big wars, set galaxy on fire. Wow. Can you imagine that's the legacy of the Jedi when they're supposed to be peacekeepers? It's kind of funny though, because that might be how the Jedi were perceived after the Clone Wars. They were they claimed to be keepers of peace, but they were just big warriors that ended up betraying the Republic and, you know, all that stuff. That's kind of interesting to think about. I had a careful, inoffensive talk with Korda, and he asked me not to make trouble with the Jedi. I reminded him that we were ordered to leave the Jedi alone, and we should follow orders. The facility will fall apart. My words had no much sense, but Korda got all angry and human-faced and said the facility is going to fall apart anyway. After talk, I listened to him talk to the maintenance officer on the comm. They're going to smuggle the Jedi off Peragus. Oh, that's I clicked too early, but he said, like, why won't anyone listen to me, essentially? I last heard a comm talk from Korda, the maintenance officer. The maintenance officer said he had a big plan for disabling station, leaving us all trapped here while Korda escapes with the Jedi. I'm still afraid of Korda, who's just big, loud, and unreasonable, so I went to the maintenance officer, who was smaller, more sensible, more celestial. Asked him if he made trouble with Korda. The maintenance officer cracked an eye hair at me, pretended not to know what I was talking about, said he was not speaking to Korda at all. What a human lie. Can't wait any longer, I must
Your ears always were too big, CN. Come on, if the maintenance officer comes through on the explosions, these dorms are gonna be filling up soon. And shut that damn data pad off and throw it down the refresher.
So, that's why we found it in the refresher. Korda took him out before he could throw, like alert everyone to the plan that, like, Korda and those guys were gonna backstab everybody. Of course, it looks like they wanted to lock them all down, not kill them. And then Doc Officer Hololog. Evacuation.
We managed to get to the dormitories. We should be safe here. We've been trying to use the holo-transmitter to beam a transmission to the administration level to end the lockdown, but the administration console's been severed from the main hub. Everyone thinks we should try to evacuate on our own as soon as possible, but there's no way to break the dormitory seals from the inside. I'm going to keep sending distress calls in the meantime. We've been trying to find a way to circumvent the lockdown and get to our hangar bay, but so far, no luck.
Seems very odd. Like, why would you design a station to be able to do a lockdown to save you in the dormitories? That makes sense. Like, because not only is this place, like, rigged to explode at any given time, but, like, one big detonation could leave you, like, open to vacuo, you know? But the fact that they have literally no way to end the lockdown manually inside the dormitory seems like a fatal flaw.
The situation's worse than we thought. Even if we get out of here, we can't shut down the fuel depot force fields if a fuel leak was detected. If so, the only way off this asteroid is if a ship docks with us. But the only connection to the docking platform is on the administration level, and we can't get up to the docking bay while we're trapped here. I only hope someone survived the explosion in the mining tunnels. If not, then we're stranded here. Unless our transmission reaches a passing ship, or a Telos freighter.
So, yeah, that little signal they were trying to send out.
Managed to use the holo-transmitter here as a crude relay to beam short-burst transmissions outside the Peragus facility. With any luck, the transmission will carry beyond the asteroid field. We've set the emergency transmission on automatic playback. We're using a simple military flash code to transmit the code to the turbolifts, so maybe our rescuers can get down to the dormitory when they reach the station. Without those turbolift codes, our rescuers wouldn't be able to get here from the administration level. And without those codes, we wouldn't be able to get to the administration level if we found a way out on our own. The messages are short distress calls only, since we can't get much signal strength. It's pretty weak, so unless a ship is actively searching the area, it might be a long time before a ship picks up the message. After all, who would be scouring frequencies way out here looking for trouble?
How depressing would that be? And then check the transmission.
The transmission gives the code to open the turbolift when or if help arrives. Code is a simple group of 5 numbers. 3, 17, 13, then the next 2 numbers are...
So that's the kind of key. Like, I think it's unfortunate because, as you'll see, it doesn't actually allow you to be truly clever. Well, maybe, it depends. I think if your stats are high enough, you don't have to be, but it's actually not too hard to suss out. 3, and it's got 3 dots. I'm guessing that's like the basic transmission they're sending out is like, it's like literally like almost like a Morse code type thing. So 3 dots equals 3. Then you have a dash and 3 dots, that's 13, so a dash is 10. And then you have a dash 2 dots, that'd be 12, plus X, 17, that's 5. So 3, 17, 13, 5, 7. Korda. I think this can do a holo log too, but I'll have to see. If not, I'll go back and... My Korda log activated warning, log encrypted. Oh, okay. So, can't use it. Ah, it sucks. I wonder if you could use that. Maybe, like, again, like, this game's full of a lot of interesting stuff where it does stealth checks, where you won't even know there's something you could do if you had a skill high enough unless you show up with that skill being high enough, or you look into the guide. So it could be that if I had enough like computer use or like security, I might be able to like suss out, oh, this is encrypted. I'll unencrypt it and you'll get to see like what was going on. But I think we do get to at least see the finale. Access camera logs. Recorded 5 minutes after the emergency lockdown.
Almost didn't make it out of the dormitory section before the lockdown, you murglak. You're cutting a little close, aren't you?
Yes, a regrettable miscalculation on my part. I'm contacting you because I'm picking up a subspace transmission from within that level. Is that your doing?
No, they must be trying to use the old relay system to send an emergency signal. I doubt they know what's really going on.
Hey, this turbo lift's locked down.
Try the code again.
Why is it so paused?
Don't worry about the miners and their transmission. By the time help arrives, we'll be all the way to Nar Shaddaa.
Oh, they won't be leaving the dormitories. The explosion within the tunnel has damaged the ventilation systems, causing breaches in the core exhaust conduits.
Ooh.
That's going to kill them all!
Not all of them, but I'm sending a number of mining droids to your location right now to correct that problem.
Corda, this turbo lift's locked down. The sequence isn't working.
How creepy.
Keep trying it! You! Why are you doing this? Why me?
You. It was never about you. The Jedi is all that interests me. But then you had to ruin everything by revealing her identity and then trying to harm her. And that I cannot allow.
Ah.
Statement. You are a risk, Corda. You are impulsive, crude, and soon, deceased.
There we go. We know who the villain is. It was kind of hinting at it, but this is blatantly like, oh.
Mocking query.
Yep.
Corta, are you dead yet? Smug statement. I believe I forgot to mention that I reversed the turbolift codes, in case you managed to get this far.
So, the codes are right. They're just reversed. So, open the turbolift doors. You can slice the doors, enter it manually, or I think if you have a high enough intelligence, it does it for you. So, I think it was... So, I think it was 3, 17, 13, and then 5, 7. So, if it's backwards, then it goes 7, 5... 3, 17, 13. So 13, 17, 3. And when I've done that in the past, I've always had intelligence high enough or wisdom high enough that it just, it must be intelligence because my wisdom's really high. So it just does it for you. Like it literally reads out like, oh, this is how you solve it and here's the answer. But we got big brains here. Yeah. And if you blow up the console, I don't think it kills you, but I think it hurts you pretty severely. We made it back up to the administration level. And it's handy. Hey, we've got access to almost the entire station. We've almost got ourselves a way out of the hangar. But remember, we had a ship that docked with us. And last time, we heard that was like the one way we might be able to like kind of interact with the various mechanisms and parts of the station that we just wouldn't have access to normally. I'm going to go ahead and save because things about to get crazy. Hey, Kreia.
I have felt a disturbance. Our enemy is here. We must leave at once.
Enemy?
The one that fired upon the Ebon Hawk as we attempted to rescue you. And he will not let us go without blood being shed.
So what? If he's willing to... No, not that one. Wait, who is this enemy?
The story is a long one, and time is short. Come, we must go, and quickly.
Alright, let's go.
We need to make our way to the docking area on this level. I fear the airlock has already opened, and if so, we must be on our guard. If we cannot reach the Ebon Hawk, then we must find a way to escape on the ship that is docked here.
Alright, Kreia's joined your party. While she's active, her mentor special ability gives you everyone a bonus to earn experience points. She literally helps you level up faster, which is good, because in every other conceivable way, she's kind of useless. Alright, we gotta go find Atten. We gotta get on that big ship. Maybe we can fly it out of here. Yeah, it's gonna go great. It's gonna go great. Here he is.
What in space is going on? Who's this? Another Jedi? What, did you guys suddenly start breeding when I wasn't looking?
Let's see. It takes too long to explain. We have to leave now.
Alright. I'm guessing that Republic ship that just docked isn't carrying friends of yours.
I hope your talent for understatement is offset by your skill with a blaster. If not, then I fear our time together will be short indeed.
Yeah, and I'm also good at running and drinking, Your Majesty. And even if you two aren't big friends of the Republic, that warship's the only way off this station.
And join your party. As long as he isn't the last party standing, he can't be knocked out. His saving throws improve the more he's wounded.
Good thing we have a clear run to the ship.
Threat. Master, perhaps I did not enunciate
He
clearly the last
reveals
time we
himself.
spoke. I suggested
The
that
HK
you should
droid
shut
was a
down
villain the whole
safely
time?
and wait for
What?
rescue.
After all the deaths you've caused, your rescue is hardly the term I would use.
Correction. I am not here to argue semantics, Master, so I will simply inform you that you are wrong, as were those recently corrected miners.
Let's see. So we got a lot of information. So you mimic the maintenance officer's voice to control the droids and kill the miners in the medical bay.
Indignant answer. Master, the miners intended to place you in jeopardy. I could not allow that to take place, so I was forced to negotiate a termination of hostilities.
That's a way to put it.
After reprogramming the mining droids to mine any organics they perceived, they began to kill the miners one by one. Then a series of flawlessly timed explosions drove the miners into their dormitories, where I was able to gas them all at once without wasting time hunting them through the mining tunnels. I then administered a large dose of sedatives to the remaining miners in the med bay, enough to kill them, but ensure you slept peacefully. Of course, against my calculations, you awakened from your tank prematurely. I am ashamed by the inconvenience that caused for both of us.
Alright, so... Let's see. Why'd you want to capture me?
Answer. It is beyond the scope of my programming to probe the motivations of my clients, Master. Suffice to say that I am being well compensated for my services. You have been a difficult target to find. You have been wandering the galaxy since the end of the Mandalorian Wars, leaving little record of your passage. It is as if you did not wish to be found by hunters such as myself, or more likely, the Jedi Order.
You found me. Obviously, I didn't do a good job.
Admission. It was a matter of chance, Master. I happened to be serving as a protocol droid on the Harbinger when you booked passage. After that, it was a simple matter to sabotage the Harbinger and call for a retrieval. Irritated statement. However, when the Ebon Hawk appeared and salvaged us from the wreckage, I was forced into a series of rapid recalculations, culminating in our current situation.
Right. Who's this client of yours?
Chiding answer. My programming renders me incapable of revealing the identity of my client, Master. However, I am free to say that my client is wealthy and very interested in possessing the last of the Jedi.
Right. Let's see, how did you find me?
Admission.
Oh, I already did that one. So what, are you going to kill me?
Answer. No, Master. Killing you was never the intention. If you resist my attempts to return you to your KOTOR tank, however, I may inadvertently fracture your skeleton in several places to incapacitate you.
Jeez. How'd you manage? Let's see, who's kind of yours? Alright, well, looks like it's pretty much done. I don't want to fight you, but if you leave me no choice.
Resignation. Very well, Master. If inflicting pain is the only means to resolve this matter, then you leave me no choice.
Welcome to the first boss fight, and he brings friends. And I want Atten to put on his shield.
Just say the word.
Okay, now we need to take out these floating bombs. Actually, Atten can just shoot at them.
I hear you.
Oh, Cray, where are you going?
I hear you.
More where that came from.
Where am I going? And yeah, please shoot that thing. Kreia, join me in attacking the droid, stunning the droid. And I will also stun the droid if I get a chance to control myself.
Time to take you down to size.
No, equipping shields and making sure my companions are properly, like, adequately.
Time to even the odds.
Shut up, Atten. Oh, crap, quick. Cancel combat, run! Kreia, get away.
What is it?
Systems failing, Master.
Okay, there we go. Whew. That was close. HK vocabulator, self-sustaining unit, advanced mining laser. Very good. Alright. We managed to survive the Peragus mining facility and the HK assassin droid. Now we have a ship full of creepy people and a half-dead zombie man. So that's gonna be great. Tune in for some very exciting. This whole intro is great. Remember I said how creepy the establishing shots for that ship was? They aren't just selling it. This ship is creepy.
Something is wrong. I sense no one on board.
You sense no one on board? Sense any assassin droids creeping up behind us like last time?
Everyone here has been slain, yet there are few signs of battle. No carbon scoring, no blast of fire. This place has been hit by assassins of a different sort.
Then what are we doing on this ship? We were better off in the facility. You two are supposed to be Jedi? You two are the worst Jedi I've ever met.
Let's see. And right, we need to get off the ship.
Oh, and go where? If the assassin machine was correct, then we cannot reach the hangar. Be silent. I need some time to think.
Let's see. When I saw the vessel dock, this vessel docked. When it did, a fuel pipe entered from the fuel depot behind the force field.
Look, I don't mean to cast another shadow on this, but even if you could reach the ship you came in on, it wouldn't matter. You'll need the orbital drift charts to clear the Peragus asteroid field, unless you want to have the shortest flight out of Peragus ever recorded.
Let's see. And how do we then, why don't we steal this ship?
Oh, you mean with the huge crew we brought along with us? That's a brilliant idea.
Wait, how did the Harbinger get the orbital drift charts if it would need to dock here?
Well, of course they have the asteroid drift charts in their Navicomputer. They'd have to.
So let's get the codes then. We can worry about getting to the Ebon Hawk.
Well, we'd have to get to the bridge. I mean, well, that's the biggest problem.
Now he's just whining. Karth, shut up.
For the moment, let us go.
Your party, certain actions and dialogue responses will increase or decrease influence of your companions, depending on their personalities. Some respect cruelty, while others may respect nobility, loyalty, cleverness, brute force, and so on. The higher your influence of the companion, the more your alignment affects theirs. An extremely high or low influence of the companion can open up additional dialogue choices. There are benefits to both, so treat them as you will.
Our enemies gather while we wait here.
And plan's a good one. Let's head to the bridge and get the drift charts.
All right, but this won't end well. Trust me.
Alright, light side points gained, influence gain, Atten. There's a reason why I did that. Technically, I was more on Kreia's side, but I specifically needed to make that choice, and you'll see further down the line why. But for now, we gotta save, because you thought the station was bad, this place is worse. Although, one of my favorite things is how Atten, remember he's whining like, oh, we'd have to get to the bridge, oh, he's like such a pain. The bridge is right here. We literally took 10 steps. But, he is right, it's going to be a pain. Just not for the reasons you'd think. Repair the Navicomputer. Download the download the drift charts. Check the logs.
We have taken on passengers to Telos.
Sir, we've just received an emergency broadcast. A freighter under attack by Sith forces.
Can you get an ID on the ship?
Yes, sir. We have its ID signature. It's not in our databanks, but its profile suggests some low-stock freighter. Says it's being hit hard by a Sith warship. Sir?
I'll need to confirm with command before we move to intercept.
So, He saw the ship, he looked at it, and he's like, I gotta call command.
Report.
The Sith warship is empty, sir. We attached an umbilical and sent 3 strike teams through it, and there's no sign of a crew or its commander.
There's no one on board? What about the escape pods?
They're still in their berths, sir. This place, it's empty. It's like a ghost ship.
Then who was firing at the freighter?
We don't know, sir. The freighter's empty, too. We did a clean sweep and nothing except a lone T3 unit, badly damaged. Did you still want it tractor beamed to the Harbinger?
Search the freighter and the warship one more time. If they're clean, then we'll tractor the freighter over.
Yes, sir.
No idea why the Admiral thought that freighter worth all the effort, but we'll find out.
So could you imagine? So they get a distress call from a freighter. The freighter is odd. He sends it to command. Command goes, holy crap, you get that freighter. And he's like, okay. So they go to respond to the freighter, and they find the freighter, and they find the Sith warship. Sith warship, just drifting. Freighter, just drifting. Well, maybe it was firing when they first got there, but the firing seemed to stop. They go and they attach to the warship, and there's no one on board. They go to the freighter, no one on board. So why was the freighter flying? Who was flying it? And what was the Sith warship doing? How could it be empty and yet flying and firing, but now it's not doing anything?
Everyone in the Ebon Hawk was dead, sir. We're starting autopsies within the hour.
What about that Sith corpse we retrieved from the warship?
We haven't had a chance to fully examine it, sir. He looks human, but he's fractured in several places.
Then keep me posted. Something's wrong here, and I want to know where all those Sith on the warship went.
So they go inside, only corpses on the Ebon Hawk, and they found one corpse on the Sith ship.
We're still experiencing a problem with the communications array, and now maintenance is telling me there's a cascade failure in the weapons.
Sir, I just picked up an unusual sound from MedLab.
I have come for the Jedi.
What the hell was that?
Sir, I don't know. Communications just got cut.
Send a security team to MedLab, now!
Oh boy.
We're still...
Oh, I clicked the wrong one. So, now we've pushed this button. Spin around. Walk towards this way a bit. A little bit more. Activate shields.
Just say the word.
Alright. There's another sword in there. Here we go. Walk in. Wibble, wibble, wibble. Sith assassins, here we go! Get him. Get him. There we go. Welcome to the theme of the next 5 hours. You just walk places and get accosted. Luckily, you can typically see the wibble wibbles before they attack, but you have to be paying attention. So you walk in and you don't attack anything because wibble wibble wibbles. Wait, really? I could have sworn there was some in here. I don't know, man. You just start to see. Oh yes, we have Jedi robes. Oh, fetch yes. Bao-dur novice robes. Defense bonus 1, immunity to dark and light side plus 1 wisdom. Novices are those that begun their training in the Bao-dur philosophy, learn how to empty their mind to find tranquility in any situation. The Bao-dur are force-sensitive members of the KOTOR race. They're the guys with like the masks and the really winky heads. They seek inner peace and are very patient, consulting with the Force before making decisions. We officially are robed. We will never be wearing anything but robes for the rest of the game. That's an awesome find. You don't roll that very often. That's very good. Perfect for this playthrough. There they are. Hey, buddy. Ooh, Arcane heavy pistol. That's, if I remember correctly, that's actually one of the really, really good ones you can get for here. Yeah. 2 open penalty, a +2 versus 2 open penalty if used in the offhand. So it's good to you can put it in the offhand and get a better, like that's the nice thing about pistols is they can be done like that. But look at that the damage range 2 to 11. When this blaster here is just doing 1 to 8, freaking awesome. Absolutely amazing. All right, briefing logs. Course change for Onderon.
I'm afraid we're going to lose it all. There's just not enough ships and too much territory to cover. We're still rebuilding from the war with Malik, and sometimes I wonder if we'll ever recover. Still, we have our orders, and the Republic's put the highest priority on this mission. Looks like the trouble on Onderon will have to wait.
Okay, so he's worried in his personal recordings. He's talking about how the Republic is stretched way too thin. Like post-war, despite all our the efforts of Billy the Kid, or Killy the Bid, not Billy the Kid, Killy the Bid, the Republic is stretched way too thin, cleaning up the rest of the Sith. There are still like little pockets of Sith around, but like mostly isolated and destroyed. Not an active war anymore. But now they're just trying to keep the peace and not make the Republic's on the verge of just splitting to pieces. And there's trouble on Onderon that's going to become important later. But I continue with the story of the Harbinger.
As ordered, we've picked up the passengers from the Outer Rim and have made quarters for them. Once aboard, we've plotted a course for Telos. We expect to arrive within 10 standard days, provided there's no mishaps. I've been ordered to give the passenger no special treatment, nor make any indication of her identity. I have some reservations about turning the Harbinger into a passenger liner, but the orders were clear. Whoever this passenger is, she's got diplomatic level priority, whether she knows it or not.
That's gotta be us. So the Republic wanted to bring us to Telos for some reason, and they were willing to give like the diplomatic so essentially like the standing orders are defend me to the death. Like everyone on the ship should die before harm comes to me.
We picked up a distress signal and are sending a message to the Republic for permission to investigate. We have also transmitted the damaged vessel's ID signature to the Republic. According to the message, it's being pursued by Sith forces. There's no match for the vessel in our databanks, but the profile of the distress signal suggests it's a stock freighter of some kind. We'll only know for sure when we arrive, and we'll find out if the signal's genuine or a trap.
All right, priority override.
We wanted to check with you, sir, before diverting course from Telos.
This is a fun one.
There appears to be some battle that has taken place in the sector, and we've received a distress signal.
You have permission to divert course, Captain. If there's a Sith presence in the region, I want you to investigate.
I hate him, but he's here.
Did you get confirmation on it?
Yes, sir. We did not have the vessel listed in our databanks, so we transmitted the code to you. Was there a match?
There was, Captain. If you find any trace of that vessel, even wreckage, I want it.
Yes, sir.
After you've investigated the sector, resume course to Telos with the passenger. It is of the highest importance that she reach Telos.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure she arrives intact.
Good hunting, Captain. Admiral Onasi out.
Admiral.
Sometimes I wonder if the right hand of the Republic knows what the left hand is doing. I'm always being kept in the...
Query. You sent for me,
Uh-oh.
Captain.
Yes, I need you to check on the passenger again, see if there's anything she needs. Try not to be too obvious about it. Her safety is our top concern.
Statement. I shall use the utmost discretion, Captain. As always, it is my pleasure to serve.
So that's where all the trouble began. But hey, Karth. So one of the things that's really interesting is like, remember at the beginning how they had like one line of dialogue where I got to, like there's one line of dialogue where I got to choose if Revan was a man or a woman, and then a second line of dialogue where I got to decide whether he was Sith or good. Literally, it's just that those are the two binary choices that dictate the entire feel of the game post first game. So there's going to be some really interesting things that are going to happen because of the way we ended up playing. And so I would say that canon events are very loosey-goosey because it's not very specific, which is something that they really outshone themselves for. Obviously, something that bothered BioWare and even Obsidian was the fact that carryover between these two games was really difficult to manage because, sure, you got to make lots of fun decisions in the first game, but how do you translate data from a first game that was like so kind of almost a generation old into something modern, and like when they were so restricted on their game space, because this is, like 2009 or something that's came out, 2011. So they've come a long way, and this game series was kind of the foundation that would be built upon to build Dragon Age and then Mass Effect. Those fantastic flagship series that did a much better job carrying over because they I think they saw between this game and the second game what would have been nice. I imagine Obsidian, because they're so clever about stuff, I imagine Obsidian wrote up like, hey, it'd be really cool if we could get markers about decisions that were made from the first game, and they're kind of, and BioWare's like, what are you talking about? And Obsidian's like, well, you can set up a very basic log file where you can give numerical values on key decisions in just a big text and just set it in a certain order, and it becomes it becomes a key for the second game to autofill what decisions are made, and thus we can like make it branching trees. And they're like, oh, that's really interesting. And that kind of became the model that they've used for everything else. The biggest issue they had later was when you jumped from like console to console generation. Like we played this game on Xbox, and then like Mass Effect came out on Xbox as well, I believe. But then the next games came out on Xbox 360, and like jumping console to console was a lot harder because you couldn't just trust that people keep their saves or transmit them somehow. So they developed systems that allowed you to kind of pre-select what choices you made on certain cases. Mass Effect did it automatically. I'm not sure how they decided to do that per se, but I know Dragon Age, especially carrying over from the 360 generation to the Xbox One or Xbox X or whatever we're in now for Dragon Age 4, they had a whole website where you could go and fill in your choices manually rather than having to rely on an old save that you might have lost. Anyway, blah, 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 we're done. But we're not quite done, because if I remember correctly, I try and leave here, something's gonna happen. No? Man, I'm paranoid. I could have sworn that coming in here triggers an ambush. Maybe I'm thinking of another place that looks very similar to this. And there's definitely a few cases where like you look on a computer and access it, and you trigger an ambush by just looking at the computer. So yeah, we're gonna see a lot of ambushes. This room has an ambush in it. Come on, Atten. Oh, I didn't know there was another one there. Oh, fetch me. Atten. I should be able to inject him with the med pack. Yeah, there we go. So, because in the first game, one thing that was interesting is like treat injury was how good you could heal yourself. Or if you were a droid, it was repair. And it was just locked to that. This game, they kind of realized, like, hang on, wouldn't it make more sense to have only one person who's a dedicated healer and everyone else could focus on other skills, but then that healer could apply their healing abilities to other characters. So I should be doing that right here. Nope, he fell unconscious before I could. Now Atten's funny, because even if we hadn't ended combat there, he would actually just kind of get back up again in a second with like 1 health, because he can regenerate like while unconscious. Like it says, as long as he's not the only person left, like if he falls unconscious and there's nobody else conscious, like he can't actually be dropped permanently till the end of the combat round. It's kind of a cool little thing he can do. Battle stimulant. I remember those things. I pretty much never use them. Might in this run if I have to, but I just don't see that happening. Okay, so I entered a tier higher now. There we go. Regenerate force points. You can regenerate more quickly and especially in combat. Heal! Yes! Oh, we're in business now. And ooh, is that disabled droid I see? Yes. Yes. Oh, you have no idea how much we've just improved our ability to survive. Now, first level heal is just really handy because then you have unlimited heal packs essentially as long as you're willing to wait for your like force points to recharge. But eventually down the line, I get the just blanket heal everybody and just make all pain go away. It becomes utterly ridiculous. Oh.
Are you all right?
I just need a second. This was my room.
This was your room? When?
Before I lost consciousness and woke up on Peragus.
We do not have much time. Whatever you intend to do, do it quickly.
Yeah, sure. It's just my room. Come in here. And you get energy cell, a data pad, med pack, and an armband. Joan of Arclight, you're requested to report to Harbinger Medical Bay for routine examination. The routine is automated. Simply insert this data pad to the medical computer to receive your injections. Good, good, good. Now, armband, if I remember correctly, this thing's actually kind of nice. Constitution +1. I mean, anything that does a broad stat boost like that can be pretty powerful. I can't remember if we get attacked in here or not. There we go. Droid maintenance log. I don't know whether this new HK-50 droid is a gift or a curse. After the destruction of the previous protocol droid when it accidentally activated that frag mine, the HK has stepped into place without a hitch. The problem is, it doesn't take commands very well, and most of the time I have no idea where it's been. There's been reports that it's being sighted all over the crew quarters with the captain, in maintenance, even in the med lab of all places. And when I asked a droid about it, it gives me a smart mouth response about facilitating communications. I don't know who commissioned this HK models, but I don't like them. Good. They're bad. Droids deactivated. Unlike other droids, the protocol droid appears to have been purposely sabotaged. Yeah, I wonder who could have possibly done that. Okay. Insert datapad, check treatment request for Joan of Arclight. Sedatives administered during routine examination 3.5 days ago. Emergency override enacted. Doses exceed safety protocols. So I guess it's like sensing what happened to me at the base. During your last medical exam, you administered a delayed sedative that would kill a normal human being. Oh, that was the original, like how I felt unconscious on Harbinger. That must be what rendered you unconscious when the Harbinger was taken out. Looks as if someone forgot to lock the treatment request once administered. You still have access to one of the Kulto tanks in the medical bay. Identify the Kulto tank. So I literally can walk up to that thing and just heal. Whenever I want. Okay. Check medical logs. Sith wreckage report.
Something's wrong. Ever since we picked up that Sith firefight in the region, crewmen haven't been reporting for their shifts, and I can't reach people on the comm. The strange thing is, I keep feeling like someone's watching us here in the ship, but I can't see anyone. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's those Sith assassins. Can you imagine? So what happened is they attached the umbilical to the Harbinger, to the Sith warship. Nothing was in there. While they were searching for it, all the Sith just infiltrated onto the Harbinger, and they just waited in the shadows, hidden, watching everything. And then whenever they decided to strike, they struck.
Checking the survivor from the Sith vessel. I'm not sure whether he's alive or dead, or what's even keeping him together. His flesh is cracked and scarred, and I'm registering several thousand fractures in his skeleton, as if each bone was splintered repeatedly over time, then put back together. Judging from the scar tissue, I believe these wounds took place before his death. If so, he must have been in constant pain. I have no idea what's been keeping him together.
That's that dude, remember? The guy that we saw kneeling here. He looks like a zombie. Yeah, it's because he's literally been ripped to pieces and put back together.
This is the medical officer. The soldiers sent to the medical bay have just died. I don't know where the subject went. I think he's gone to find more of the crew. With him are Sith. They just appeared right out of thin air, like they were wearing stealth generators, but I think they were always on board. When we stopped to pick up that freighter, they must have come on board the Harbinger. I have no idea how many are on the ship. There could be only a few, or as many as 100. And with communications cut off, we can't call for help. I think that thing in the tank was a Sith Lord, alive the whole time, waiting for something to wake him up.
Oh boy. Trip to get chemicals. Okay, got the chemicals. So we got the medical logs, and then we have the camera footage. Watch this. Oh, look at him. He's one of the best designed Sith ever. The concept, everything about him. And then he comes down. He jumps out of the healing tank. And that's when the reign of terror began. So, there we go. We can go to this Kulto tank and get healing, I think. What's one of these? That one. You want to heal yourself? I'll leave it for now. I've got my own Kulto ability, apparently, but still good to know. So, yeah. Real spicy stuff. Now, we've finished everything we need to down here. Let's go on into the next section of the ship. Oh, yeah.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Let's see. Would you stop saying that?
I can't help it, don't you feel it? Something's gonna get real wrong, real quick.
I'll have to be careful then, but we have to keep moving.
Alright, but don't say I didn't warn you. Trust me, when it comes to staying alive, I'm rarely wrong about these things.
Atten has a special ability to sense anything that places him at risk. When he gets a bad feeling, it's recommended you save your game. This is used, I believe, one other time in the entire game. It's one of the. It's so sad. They put so many cool ideas, but again, you can feel the rushing of the game where they just didn't follow through on some of them. They tried to make it so every companion had like not only like a unique story and a unique skill set, but also unique custom abilities. And it would have been cooler and really fun if they'd been able to manifest that more. So, one of the disappointing things. But here's the other thing. None. And none. 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 Okay. We are ready to go. There's a bit of a magical thing that's about to happen here, which I'm very happy with. I guess it doesn't matter if I save, I just saved. So, bad feeling. We save, go through the door. Then we all stop. And we all get the bad feeling. And there he is. There he is. Look at him! He's one of the best designed Sith ever.
I came to warn you, Jedi. You know not what path you walk.
And she just pulls the sword out of nowhere.
This battle is mine alone. I am not defenseless.
He cannot kill what he cannot see, and power has blinded him long ago. Run! I shall be along shortly.
There she goes. Now it's just me and Atten. Cool. Can't go back and just so well done. That character is just so good. Jedi robe. A freaking just a flat out Jedi robe now. What the fetch? Wisdom +1's really strong, but regenerating force points 1. That makes extra force point regeneration. Oh, that's tough. I think I do want to keep the Brando Novus robe because Wisdom +1 is really, that's gonna pay more in force points than that. But like, it's just a flat out Jedi robe. I don't think I've ever seen a playthrough where I get this many like Jedi robed type of clothing. Yeah, so like, well, in the game there's a vibro blade. Like, I'm rolling really lucky for this playthrough. Here we go. I like how Ad's blasters come floating into screen. Some things never change. Activate engine maintenance procedure. Yeah, now we get access to the actual engine room. Log out. Alright, so I don't know. I think he's supposed to say a line there. He's like, whoa, wait, we're actually going in there? And say, it's the only way to get around the sealed door and into the hangar where the Ebon Hawk is. All right, but I know I'm gonna regret this. Don't know why he's not saying it there.
I sense you, my master. Faint, weak.
Your senses betray you, as you betrayed me.
After all that's happened, still you live. You are difficult to kill.
For one as limited as you, perhaps. To have fallen so far and learned nothing, that is your failing.
The failure is yours. No longer do your whispers crawl within my skull. No longer do I suffer beneath teachings that weaken us. And now you run in search of the Jedi. They are all dead, save one, and one broken Jedi cannot stop the darkness that is to come.
Perhaps we shall see.
And down she goes. And ironically, down we go.
What's wrong? Are you all right? Damn it, hold on. It's only a little farther. Don't give up on me now. What happened to you?
Now you're motivated. My hand feels like it's being dipped in molten carbonite.
You look fine. Come on. We need to keep moving.
That'll come up later. That'll be useful at another time. Oh, what is it? Sometimes foreshadowing is obvious. And into the tube we go. And look who it is!
It's a utility droid. Looks like it's been hit with an ion charge and dumped here.
I know, we ran into that protocol droid earlier. He attacked us too. Don't blame yourself. If you hadn't gotten us out of the administration level, we'd never have made it this far. He's a good boy. He's a good droid. Come on then, we have to hurry. T3's joined your party has the ability to make programming spikes on demand and can upgrade items if asked. Sweet. Yeah, you can actually influence him, unlike the last game, where you literally couldn't. Hangar 25 control conduit. So remember how like the physical like severed from the main administration level? This is it. All HK 50. Now I'm going to have you pick up this mine. There, disable the mine. And that was locking down the whole setting anyway. Remember like those big blast shields? It's because they detected explosive inside like the fuel line. So naturally they weren't going to allow you to open that unless they could be sure it was safe. All right, here we go. We're almost there. There's the Ebon Hawk. Oh, you. I can stop you if I can. So close. Can you feel it? We're almost there. Deet. Whoa, slow down and repeat that. Okay, so interesting. So like it's cutting out dialogue here again. I don't know if it's like an update or just the PC version sucks. So Adam goes over to the door and he says, "No, the administration password's not working. We're locked out." And he goes, "I don't believe this. After all we've gone through, we're still locked out of the system." And then the droid goes, "Wait." And I say, "Okay, what is it doing?" And then he says, "Huh? What's that piece of junk talking about?" And I say, "He says he can open door to the hangar, just needs access to the hangar terminal up on the platform." And how can you even understand that noise? And I say, "There's a lot of utility droids in the, well, many years ago." So. Don't know why it's doing that, but whatever. Replace the hangar power conduit. And open the door. Okay, here we go. We've got droids to fight through. These are going to be the toughest droids we've come across yet, but they're really nothing much now that we're not alone. Having to do so much of this stuff solo is really what makes it difficult. But we're gonna head down there. We're gonna splash our way through everything, and we're going to just, you know, be awesome. Okay, let's see. So the console decontamination is inactive. You can reroute the main console system, slice the system. Well, we got the parts, so let's do the parts one. Access control, command control, decontamination chamber. So here's the thing. That room's full of poison. We need to get through there. It costs so many resources to take it down. I'm just gonna open the door, we're gonna run. I should be able to keep us alive. Here comes the gas. You can actually find a second breather mask if you're lucky, and that way you like are perfectly fine. Okay, let's see if I can. Nope, healing does not cure that, so I'm going to have to give him an antidote kit that I
hear you.
Oh, right. Need to. There we go. Okay. That one's empty. Alright, now. This is the hangar. When we go through this door, all hell's gonna break loose, and we're gonna get the weirdest minigame that just feels super out of place. Because remember, the whole concept of this point so far was that the Harbinger came across the Sith warship. They went to it. There was no one on board. We know that they stealthed over, and they were hiding amongst the ship on the crew and the Harbinger until they decided to strike. Now, all we've seen up to this point are stealth Sith units. But for some reason, when we're assaulted trying to take off in the hangar, they're going to not be stealth units Sith anymore, but regular Sith troops that we saw from the first game. The like big chrome guys. So where were they hiding? It's not like they were using stealth fields. If they were, they'd be really easy to spot. I don't care. So here's the thing I'm going to try and do. You can do this minigame and completely like get all of them. But if you fail to get all of them, some of them get on the ship and you have to go clear the ship out before you can fly away. I'm going to try and get them all, but I'm going to have to see. If I remember correctly, the mouse is not super sensitive for the game and it can be really difficult. There she is. Ready for the crap to hit the fan? Because that is what is about to happen now. This is loading ramp to the Ebon Hawk. Once aboard, you'll be leaving the mining facility for good. Please. Please, let me out. Just let me out. There's a fun little thing. So, like, this is exactly what the minigame is. Something you didn't see in the first game, but they included here. Very similar to the Millennium Falcon. Has a little bit of a deterrent for boarding parties. So we went from like, oh, just casually running around to yeah, this is awful. The turning is so slow. So so that door I mentioned before, that seems to be where they're just coming from there. So they pour through and they're trying to get on the ship. It's got a weird, like, reflecting issue here. I think it's probably with the high definition, like, updates, where, like, they stop the screen from being super stretched. And it makes, like, the crosshairs have a weird zoom-in thing going on. Yeah, see, where were these guys? How did they hide on the Harbinger, huh? I'm sorry, it's so loud. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Oh, yeah, so that's where... So Atten was supposed to say, like, you got them all. Let's get out of here. And... Cray, your hand. What happened?
There is no time. We must leave.
Amen, sister. Amen. Let's get out of here. Finally. Woo! It's that old first game music. There's still enough of them they can, like, fly that ship. Alright, see if more scuffed audio's here. Feels like Atten's audio gets real scuffed.
If they hit us, we're dead, but if they keep missing us, we're dead. It's great odds.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Somebody shut that trash compactor up.
Can we jump to hyperspace?
Not with all these asteroids around us. We'd enter hyperspace in pieces. We have to clear that field first. Thing is, we clear the field and they're gonna have a clear shot at us.
Is there anything you can do?
I'm doing all I can, and that's not enough. What'd you do to make these guys so mad? Well, either they hit us and destroy us, or they hit an asteroid and make the whole field go nova.
Do the best to keep your distance. We'll get out of this yet.
What are the asteroids? They can be destroyed by us as well as them, can they not?
That'll take out the whole field, the colony, and maybe us. We might not even be able to jump to hyperspace in time.
Then we die here. Choose now.
Ooh. There's gotta be another way. Keep evading until we clear the field. We'll jump to hyperspace.
Hold on. This is gonna get a little rocky.
Literally, rocky. I see what you did there, Atten. Fly. And then, oh no. There it goes. Chain reaction. And we are out of there. So yeah, we left a bit of a mess, if you couldn't tell.
Well, now that we just killed a planet, maybe one of you can tell me what's going on. Because between assassin droids, a Sith Lord that looks like he sleeps with vibroblades, and being target practice for a Republic warship, I was better off in my cell.
By the way,
Republic warship was the Harbinger. It was seized on its way to Telos by the Sith. They sought you, Jedi.
Please pay no attention to the, like, stroke-inducing, like, hyperspace tunnel. It's definitely not supposed to look like that. I imagine, like, sometimes when you take old, like, graphics and, like, enhance them, they end up just speeding up. So anyway, why are the Sith looking for me?
Because you are the last of the Jedi. Once you are dead, then they have won.
But I was exiled from the Jedi Order.
Exile or not, the Sith believe you to be a Jedi Knight, and that is all that matters.
But Last of the Jedi, that can't be true.
The Jedi Civil War destroyed the Jedi. By the war's end, barely 100 Jedi remained. Many fell in battle, and many more were seduced by Revan's teachings.
What about the Jedi on Dantooine and Coruscant?
The Jedi Academy on Dantooine is nothing more than a crater that echoes with the ghosts of dead Jedi, and the Jedi Temple on Coruscant lies empty. The waters in the Room of 1,000 Fountains have fallen still, in reverence to the fallen Jedi and those now lost. Many Jedi blamed the teachings of the Jedi Masters for Revan's fall, and the civil war that followed.
If survivors still live, we need to warn them.
Perhaps, but they are Jedi no longer. If the Sith have not already slain them, then they will not help you, nor can you help them.
By the way, gotta point out, normally the picture of the galaxy right there is just a picture of the galaxy map, but it's literally they superimposed the screen of the actual choose your destination type system. So that's really interesting because it says please select a destination. It's so interesting that they did that. I don't know why, but hey, whatever. Then how do we stop the Sith?
That is not an easy question to answer. This threat is greater than you know, and I do not believe it is a battle that can be fought.
If we don't stop them, they're going to keep coming.
Look, enough with the we already.
We cannot hope to triumph against them alone. To stop them, you will need weapons, allies, and a teacher. In the end, I fear it may not be enough.
Also, remember, she's missing her hand. She's remarkably composed. What do you mean?
You fought in the Mandalorian Wars, and it cost you everything. Are you willing to sacrifice as much again?
The Mandalorian Wars were my choice.
You are not listening to me. This is not like any field of battle you have ever fought in. Think carefully on your choice. If you choose to fight, if you choose war, it is a path few turn from once the first steps are taken. It carries with it a terrible price, and in the end you may find you have nothing left to sacrifice.
Let's see. Jedi's life is sacrifice, it's a small price to pay.
Your fool's words echo of a Jedi. You have much to learn.
Before you said the Harbinger was on its way to Telos.
Yes, to aid in the recovery effort there. Many roads lead to Telos, including ours.
Not like we have much of a choice, the Peragus astrogation charts being what they are.
It is where we must go, and where the Harbinger was bound before our unfortunate encounter on Peragus.
How did you know I was on board the Harbinger?
You were difficult to find, but coincidence was on our side. When I learned that you were on the vessel, I knew the Sith would not be far behind. When we intercepted the Harbinger, it was crippled, drifting in space. It was a simple matter to board the vessel and rescue you. Unknown to me, however, the Sith were already on board. Just as we made the jump to hyperspace, they fired upon us, nearly destroying the Ebon Hawk.
Okay, so Kreia implies here, I kind of always assumed that she was on the Ebon Hawk somehow. But she's implying that she found, because like they caught the Ebon Hawk, and then everything went down with like all the Sith coming out. So she somehow joined up with another ship, but then was forced to flee on the Ebon Hawk to get away. How come I don't remember? And that's an unusual set of coincidences.
True, but as one trained in the Force, you know that true coincidences are rare.
How did we get to Peragus?
I do not know how the Ebon Hawk was able to make it to Be silent. We're having a conversation here.
He says he repaired the ship and got us to Peragus.
Repaired this ship, my eye. Next thing you know, it's gonna claim credit for saving our skins. If that little noisemaker says it repaired the ship once, then it can prove it by doing it again. Go on, get!
Aww. So how come I don't remember you rescuing me?
Whatever occurred on board the Harbinger had rendered you unconscious. Though your thoughts were faint, I was still able to find you, sealed in one of the cargo holds. But we have spoken long enough, and my wound pains me. If you have other questions, find me in the crew quarters. There we will speak more.
Hey, don't stop your long, boring rants on my account. I was just getting sleepy-eyed.
Also in private, we will be mercifully free from the opinions of imbeciles and fools.
Look, not like I care or anything, but you might want to go check on our passenger, especially with that hand of hers.
You're right. She may need help. Can you handle things up here?
We're on autopilot until we hit Telos. Until then, a droid could fly this thing. Besides, I think our passenger could use your help.
What makes you say that?
I think she was barely keeping it together. I'm surprised she's able to stand with all that pain rolling off of her.
Should I do a more feminine voice for my character since she's female? I've just been kind of reading it, but I'm kind of starting to think, because I do female voices for most female characters I go through, so... What are you talking about?
Are you blind? If I were her, I'd be screaming like a stuck Minoc. Well, I mean a very strong, manly Minoc. I think she's just too proud to show any weakness. Especially in front of you.
That's odd.
In case you hadn't noticed, she won't say 2 words to me, but she'll talk your ear off any chance she gets. What you think matters to her. A lot. She wants you to respect her. Besides, we haven't got much else to do until Telos.
Why did you get sensitive?
Oh, don't give me that. All it takes is being around people enough to read them. You should try it sometime.
I'll go check on her then. Alright. Light side points gained. Lots of experience gained. Level up acquired. Let's go ahead and actually do that, because there's a good chance we're going to be doing some checks here in the near future. Engine room, where T3 is. Let's go talk to you. Let's see. Suffered a lot of damage over the years. How much damage? So you lost a lot of programs in your behavior core in addition to damage to your frame. Well, sure. I'm sure you'll gain the skills back. Glad to have you along. You look like you're in need of some routine maintenance. Alright, so, you do text. I can't do computer stuff, unfortunately, because I suck at those, but I can at least do these. Good. Let me tackle the main chassis first. Oh, fetch, no! Oops, must have left my hydro spanner in there. I'll try again later. For now, I have questions for you. Let's see, nope, nothing else yet. I think I unlock conversation stuff with him as I repair him. Now here, there was a storage thing in here, yes? I remember this. Oh, look at all that! Another Jedi robe. Cool, got 2 now. Bazak card. Excellent. That's kind of cool.
Have you come for more answers? There is little more left to give.
Your hand, is there anything I can do?
This wound is a physical thing and will fade with time. It was necessary. Some things may only be learned from sacrifice.
If I could, I would have protected you.
Save your pity. I am here to save you, not the other way around.
We travel together, then we need to work together.
I do not need your condescension nor your lectures. If anyone needs training and guidance, it is you.
Sorry. The pain I felt when you lost your hand. What if it had been more intense?
I do not know. I fear that the consequences would have been more extreme.
Like what consequence? Death?
Possibly, yes, and I fear it works both ways. I would not wish to test it, nor should you.
That's not cool. So essentially what happens is that we're bonded, and it's going to kind of talk about, it gives us bonuses and negatives, but the idea, the concept is that we're force bonded. Any extreme pain or emotional distress one of us feels, the other feels too, like a mirror. What can we do? I don't want my actions placing you at risk.
When battle is upon us, I suspect our minds are prepared enough to shield each other from the pain. I think we shall not have a repeat incident of what happened at Peragus.
How could this bond have happened?
I confess its nature eludes me as well, but the bond is strong, and its roots run deep. It seems the force flows easily between us. When one of us manipulates the force to heal or strengthen ourselves, the other is aided as well.
You and Kreia possess a force chain, a special ability. When either of you uses a force power on yourself, the other gains the benefit as well.
A powerful technique indeed, though, as we have noticed, it has its drawback.
Just a bit. Let me see. So what do we do now?
I do not know. The Sith struck more swiftly than I thought, and they will not stop until they have you in their grasp. If you fall, all the galaxy will echo it.
Is there any place we can retreat to?
It does not matter where we go. It is not the destination that matters. It is the journey. All paths will take us to the end, whatever it may be, and no matter how strongly we fight against it. For now, we are bound for Telos, and that is enough.
Enough for what?
Before the war, Jedi who failed their training were sent to the fields of Telos to serve the galaxy, not as Jedi Knights, but as farmers and laborers. The destruction of Telos was complete. I doubt any Jedi remain. Yet there may be echoes of their passing.
Interesting.
We shall see.
I didn't realize that they actually did that. Like, that's a conversation line I don't recall. Either I just blew past it, or that's one of the lines that was added by the restoration. And we find no trace of Jedi teachings on Telos to help us?
Then I am left with nothing more than we had already. My faith in you and your ability to meet what comes.
There were other questions I wish to ask you.
Ask, and I will answer.
When we were on Peragus, I could feel the Force again.
Indeed. And was it the same as before?
No, it felt different. Faint.
If my suspicions are correct, perhaps the damage the Jedi Council did was not as permanent as they thought. It is not an easy thing to cut one off from the Force.
Wait. The Jedi did this to me?
What did you believe? That you suddenly lost your connection with the Force without reason?
But to cut one off from the Force, it's like losing all your senses at once.
Indeed it is. It is much like losing one's ability to listen, or being put into a deep sleep, unable to awaken to the galaxy around you. Such a thing has been done before, when Jedi have pronounced sentence on their own, and exiled them as they did you.
Ah. There must be a way to reverse what they did.
It is possible that such a thing can be undone. Still, even so, the chances of the Jedi undoing such a thing for a traitor is a slim thing at best, assuming they yet live.
But you said it's possible. How?
Our link may have had other consequences. Perhaps you can hear the Force again, distantly, through me. If so, then there is hope. I may be able to teach you, train you to feel the Force again, and if you will not allow me to help you, then other Jedi must train you, or undo the damage they have done.
I will honor whatever training you wish to give me.
Do not honor me, fallen Jedi. Honor it by listening and learning. Do that, and perhaps we shall survive this thing, you and I. I offer to train you to become strong again, to know the ways of the Force, and to hear the Force sing within you as it once did.
I would welcome whatever aid you offer.
Then our training shall begin. Whenever I travel with you, I shall impart what I can to you through my words and presence.
There's another question I wish to ask.
Ask, and I will answer.
I need to know more about the Sith hunting us.
These Sith, they seek the death of all Jedi, as have all the Sith, since the Jedi Order was first split.
So this is all history stuff. I think I'll skip through it, or just skip it, just because, like, it's stuff I already know familiar. So talking about how, like, they didn't used to be Jedi and Sith. It just was Jedi and Dark Jedi. And then the Dark Jedi found Korriban and the people on it called Sith, who were very Force sensitive, and they trained them in the dark arts, the dark arts, sounds like Harry Potter, in the dark side of the Force. And then that Sith race on the planet Korriban and the Dark Jedi that joined them became the Sith Empire. They rose up, then the Jedi found them, like essentially obliterated them and drove them away from Korriban completely. So like the Sith race itself was like forced in exile away from their own planet. And then they went out and they are just out there somewhere right now.
Ask.
Can you tell me what happened since the Mandalorian Wars?
Much has happened in the galaxy in your absence, and since the defeat of the Mandalorians at Malachor 5.
What happened after the war?
As you know, Revan and Malak went to war against the Mandalorians, and you followed under Revan's banner. As Revan and Malak fought the Mandalorians in battle after battle, they grew to despise weakness, just as the Mandalorians did. In the end, the Mandalorians had taught them through conflict, shaped the Jedi, and turned them into a weapon against the Republic.
What happened next?
Revan and Malak, and all the Jedi that served them, turned against the Republic and the Jedi Order. Jedi fought Jedi. Revan was ambushed by the Jedi and captured. Malak continued to wage war in his master's place, inflicting terrible wounds on the Republic. Wounds that bleed still.
How were Malak and the Sith defeated?
As all Sith do without a strong enemy, the Sith turned on each other. Revan escaped the Jedi and returned to finish Malak, and that was the end of the Jedi Civil War.
What happened to Revan?
After defeating Malak, Revan left the Republic, and there are none who know where he has gone. It is said that the Sith remnants turned on themselves after Revan defeated Malak, reducing Korriban to ruin as the Republic still bleeds and struggles for life. Where Revan wanders now, I do not know.
So Revan saved the Republic?
It would seem that way from a certain point of view, perhaps.
Oh,
the
she's channeling her Obi-Wan.
Civil War left wounds that have yet to heal. We shall see if the Republic has the strength to survive.
Then we must do what we can until it has a chance to recover from the war.
A culture's teachings, and most importantly the nature of its people, achieve definition in conflict. They find themselves lacking. Too long did the Republic remain unchallenged. It is a stagnant beast that labors for breath, and has for centuries. The Jedi Order was the heart that sustained its sickness. Now the Jedi are lost. We shall see how long the Republic can survive.
Can anything be done to help the Republic?
We shall see. The Jedi Civil War cost the Republic much. The resources of the Sith seemed limitless. The Republic's was not. Fleets of warships, soldiers, and people were lost. Entire planets were decimated. Their inhabitants dead or refugees.
Remember?
It is a great burden for any civilization to bear. And this new threat, it is a quiet thing. Unlike the Jedi Civil War, it drives at something deeper than the strength of the Republic. It is aimed at you.
Why is the threat directed against me?
The Republic was never what was important, ever. It was but a shell that surrounds the Jedi, just as the teachings of the Jedi are a shell surrounding the heart of man. You see, the war, the true war, has never been one waged by droids or warships or soldiers. They are but crude matter, obstacles against which we test ourselves. The true war is waged in the hearts of all living things, against our own natures, light or dark. That is what shapes and binds this galaxy, not these creations of man. You are the battleground, and if you fall, the death of the Republic will be such a quiet thing, a whisper, that shall herald the darkness to come.
So, she talks a lot, but she's, like, one of the reasons why I love Kreia as a character is because she is very truly philosophical, where it feels like, especially in the first game, the philosophy of the Jedi and Sith was very binary, like good and bad, and like the Jedi talked about like being a good Jedi. Here, Kreia's like, no, like the battlefield is the heart. The battlefield is persons, and people are made up of both sides, and it's like, it's not as simple as just good and bad. She challenges the very binary nature of the choice system that was in the first game, despite the fact that it's still very much heralded in this game, where it's like you're either light side, dark side, or neutral. She challenges it in the concept, which is really, really cool. So like, I'm always going to like showcase her thoughts because it is almost like a crash course in general philosophy. It's really cool. There's a lot to take in at once. I need time to reflect on this.
I would see to that fool in the cockpit and remind him of our destination. I would not want him attempting to veer from Telos.
And isn't so bad. Well, maybe he is.
He is a fool and an imbecile. His potential lies downwards, not up. Watch that one. His thoughts are slippery. I do not trust him, and nor should you. Such a man serves himself first, and his allies next.
Influence gained, influence lost with Kreia. Light side points gained. Yep, Kreia is a really tough one to influence. It's a tough one to find a balance for. Oh, almost forgot. Low security door. Hey, damage HK unit. He is a friendly face. Looks like the remains of an HK unit, but older and more corroded than the one you encountered on Peragus. The power core still carries a charge, but a number of critical parts appear to be missing. We're going to diagnose the droid. Oh, T3 is like, uh-oh. Looks as if the droid is missing 4 critical components. The processor, replacement droid chassis, control cluster to support this that's supposed to be stored in the chassis, and its vocabulator. Take the vocabulator and insert it into the core. You've inserted the droid's vocabulator. Alright, so it looks like if we take down other HKs, we might get other parts, and that way we can possibly repair them.
How's our passenger? She's still aging?
Cryptic as always.
What a surprise. Just so you Jedi know, the whole cryptic routine isn't mysterious, it's just irritating. If you really can see the future, you should be at the Bazak table.
I don't think Kreia is a Jedi.
Then she must be royalty, because she's got to be queen of the galaxy to bark out orders like that. Or maybe she's senile.
I mean, how old do you think she is? She may have been good-looking once, but it takes some hard living to make creases like that.
But we agree on that it really makes sense that she's not Jedi, because if you think about it, remember, the Sith are hunting Jedi. They aren't hunting Kreia. They certainly had beef with her, so she's not aligned with the Sith at least, or at least she's had some kind of conflict with them in the past. But she's also not Jedi, clearly, because they would be hunting her. If she looks good to you, then you must have taken a blaster hit when I wasn't looking.
Hey, I just got out of prison. If we had a decent navicomputer, trust me, we'd be dropping out of hyperspace into the Nar Shaddaa Red Sector right now. After spacing that old witch, of course.
Let's see. We still on course for Telos?
Like we have a choice? It's the only place Peragus had logged in their astrogation charts. You know, if you thought Peragus was dead, then Telos is a dying world they're trying to breathe back to life. Should be there before too long. You can check our course on the galaxy map if you want. It's on the wall behind you.
Alright, I'll do that.
So, what happened?
To what?
Don't give me that. There were plenty of times back on Peragus where a lightsaber would have been helpful. So where's yours?
Exiles aren't allowed to keep their lightsabers.
Oh yeah? I thought a Jedi was supposed to be married to their lightsaber. Guess I heard wrong. Were you a single hilt or one of those double-bladed Jedi?
It was a single hilt.
Huh. Figures. It wasn't red, was it?
Let's see. Both the blade and crystal were unique.
Yeah? Unique how?
Now, we already know for her, like, if you've seen the art that was made by the wonderful artist Sandra, like, we already know exactly what color it's going to be, because it's the best. Like, you can get some really cool choices in here. You can get silver, which is my personal favorite. It looks awesome. Viridian, which is like a light bluish green. Orange. You can get yellow, Sentinel Blade, Consular Blade, those green, blue for the Guardians, but nope, we are getting violet, like the Hurricane Gems in the Sunset.
Must have been something. Sure be nice to have it now. Might make those Sith think twice before coming after us.
It's no matter. It was taken from me long ago.
Alright, forget I said anything. Like I said before, you can check our course on the galaxy map if you want. It's on the wall behind you.
Alright, there we go. We click on Citadel, Telos Station, Citadel. Look at that. I always thought this planet looked like sherbet ice cream, which is kind of terrible when you think about the reason it looks like that is because it was literally bombed into oblivion. Like, glass, like Halo-style glassing of a planet. Terrace, remember how they bombarded Terrace in the first game? They did the exact same thing to this planet. But they're trying to rebuild it. They're trying to terraform it back into a planet that you could live on. We'll get to know about that intimately.
Attention, this is Citadel Station Bay Control, Dock Module 126. Please remain where you are. Lieutenant Dahlgren will arrive shortly to meet you. That is all.
I don't like the sound of that. If they think we caused the explosion... Uh-oh. Here comes the welcoming party. They may not know what happened, so don't blow it.
I'm Lieutenant Gren, Telos Security Force. I'm under orders to take you into custody in regards to the destruction of the Peragus mining facility.
Are we under arrest?
You haven't been formally charged, but you will be placed under house arrest pending the results of our investigation. Due to the nature of the investigation, I have no specific timetable to offer you. In the meantime, your ship and any droids will have to be given over for safekeeping. Yes, that includes you. You are a droid, so you will be detained. In addition, we will have to take your personal arms and armor until the completion of our inquiry.
I understand.
Hold on. Is there any way to get our gear back?
If you are cleared of any involvement, your personal effects will be returned to you. You will be held briefly in the TSF station until living quarters can be arranged, at which point you will be placed under house arrest. Do you understand?
I do. I'll cooperate.
Good. My men will relieve you of any arms and armor. Please follow me.
Tell me I'm not going to jail again.
Sorry, Atten. Got some bad news for you. Oh, what's this? What's this? Another great character design, by the way.
You will be held here briefly. Living quarters are being arranged for you and your companions as we speak. Someone will return shortly to escort you to an apartment in Residential Module 082.
I understand.
Well, we might be here for a while. Might as well get comfortable.
How do you get comfortable in a cell you have to stand in? Ugh. That'd suck.
Someone is coming. So this is the last of the Jedi. I must admit I'm a little disappointed.
Oh, joy. What's going on?
The exchange has a bounty on Jedi, you know. You're worth quite a bit of money.
The exchange, huh? I'm pretty sure some 2-bit pistol jockey like yourself isn't one of them.
Hey? I'm more than skilled enough to work for the exchange.
You bounty hunters couldn't even win a fair fight. You're the cheapest, most worthless mercenary scum in the galaxy. I'd hire a Mandalorian over your filth in a second.
No Mandalorian could match my skills.
Really?
No Mandalorian could have been clever enough to infiltrate this station, taken the identity of one of the guards, then...
Then what? Overloaded our force cage fields and made it look like an accident? You probably don't even have the guts to fight me. Pathetic.
Don't think overloading your cages had not occurred to me. You're wanted alive, but I doubt anyone will care as long as I bring them your corpse.
We're in a TSF station. How do you expect to get away with this?
The security cameras have mysteriously shorted out. There will be no witnesses to your escape attempt, during which I'll have been forced to kill you. By the time the TSF realize I'm not one of them, I will be far from this place.
I don't wish to fight you.
Easier for me then. Come, Jedi. It is time to die.
Hey, leave her alone. You want to fight? Then try me, if you've got the guts.
You have goaded me once, and you shall not do so twice. But I shall dispose of all of you eventually. And an old woman, a fool, and a broken Jedi are no match to my skills.
Here we go. Thankfully, my most potent weapons can't be dropped. So let me see. I will force push. And you, I don't know, punch. Kreia. I want you to horror him.
Just say the word.
There we go, stunned. Oh, no, he's back. Piece of cake.
The security cameras up. What? What's going on here?
Man down! Quick! Call a medic!
All right, Jedi. I want you to back up slowly. Hands in front of you. Into the force cage. Cooperate, and we won't have to gun you down.
Come on, Lieutenant. They've already killed... who is that? Is that Batu Rem?
No, he was an assassin. Oh wait, I see. Is this... I don't know, that's a little cheeky.
Rem's no assassin.
Batu Rem is on leave. He shouldn't even be on the station. This man isn't him.
How did he manage to sneak in here?
That's something we're going to have to look into. I can tell you that it can't have been easy.
What's going to happen now?
We've arranged for an apartment in residential module 082. You'll stay there under house arrest until our investigation of the Peragus matter is complete. You'll be under TSF protection. I'll personally clear any visitors to your quarters, and we'll investigate this incident to the best of our ability.
Great. Another investigation.
Officer, get Lieutenant Yima a report of this incident. She'll look into this. The rest of you come with me. We'll escort you to the apartment in 082 immediately.
Because I'm sure that'll be much safer than the headquarters of the local, police force. But we can handle ourselves. It should be fine.
These will serve as your quarters for the duration of your house arrest. 2 officers will be stationed outside at all times. Again, I'll clear any visitors. There won't be another incident.
But just to be on the safe side, why don't you leave us a blaster or 2?
No. How long will I be here?
I can't say. We have a ship examining what's left of the Peragus facility now, so your stay might be brief. We'll keep you informed.
Now, this is a step up from a force cage, at least.
If there are any problems, we'll use the wall terminal to contact you. Let's go.
All right.
This isn't good. We've got to get off this station.
Why do we need to leave?
What do you think the TSF is going to find at Peragus? That could bring the Sith... You know what? Forget it. As long as we're trapped here, it doesn't matter.
What do you think, Kreia?
We cannot stay in any one place too long, but our path has brought us here for a reason. I must meditate on this. In the meantime, we should rest.
Yeah, you go ahead and meditate. As for me, I could use some sleep.
Rest. Oh, here we go. Synchronized Jediing. All right. Now, normally I would do a cool little walkthrough where I take a cool pose and I do an outro because we're gonna end here. But I'm gonna have to hit pause because otherwise that ringing is not gonna stop. So we're stopping here primarily because now we're gonna be launching into all the intrigue that's going on Telos Station. I'm glad we got ourselves here. We got kind of encountered the first resistance. We know the kind of the stakes. But now we're gonna be learning a lot about the local politics. So we're gonna save that for next part. Ideally, my plan is to try and get knocked through all of Telos Station next episode. We'll see. That might be a bit too ambitious, but at the same time, I'm pretty confident I know all the major hitting points and kind of where to go, which is usually the most challenging part of Telos Station is just getting lost. But I've got a really good memory of where I kind of need to be in the quest line we have to do. So while there is going to be a lot of back and forth tracking, I do have some methods and ways to kind of shorten it and keep things relatively simple. But there's still so many conversations that are going to be going on. It might end up being a very long episode anyway, but I don't know. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. It's a pleasure to have you around, and I hope you continue to enjoy this series. I know the series isn't going to be the most popular one, but I love this game. It's absolutely one of my favorites of all time, so I'm grateful that I have an opportunity to share it and kind of showcase some of the more interesting aspects of it. But Peragus is behind us, the future ahead of us, and if we can conquer Telos, then the world or the galaxy opens up before us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you have a lot of... hopefully you're looking forward to that because it's going to be really interesting, especially because there's a lot of really cool content that we're going to be covering that's been canonized in modern Star Wars. So it'll be cool to kind of see where a lot of that inspiration comes from. But we'll have to get to all of that later. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you had as much fun as I did making this. So until the next video watching me or seeing me next, I'll see you there.